Good afternoon. Here we are, Tuesday. I think it's day 28. Having a hard time keeping track of the days. They just keep rolling by. What amazes me is how unbored I am and how occupied that I am. That's a good thing. Today we're going to talk about, are you getting it? Oh, I didn't say getting any. I said, are you getting it? Whole different story. Looks like Tish wants to join me. What I mean when I say, are you getting it, is, are we getting the lesson? I posted yesterday a piece that said, if the coronavirus were gone tomorrow, just disappeared, open your doors, go out, do whatever you want, would we have learned anything? Because if we didn't, she's shaking her head no. If we did not learn something, like if you don't learn from your history, you're forced to repeat it. So whether it's on an individual or a collective level, if we're not getting it, we're going to experience it at a greater level until we get it. It's about, in school when you turn in a paper and you'd get a grade on your paper. What kind of grade did you get? Did you get one that said do over? I used to get do over all the time. I happen to be left-handed. So when I wrote as a child, I would hold my pen and I would write across the paper. Well, what would happen is I would smudge my writing, and also I would get smudges all over my hand, and I was probably not the needy, cleaniest kid. But anyway, so my teacher would give me back the paper, and it would come back without a grade. It would say, do over, messy. Now, one of my problems was I think so fast. I'm a thinker. It's what I do. It's what I like to do. I think serious things. I think strange things. I think, what do you think? Why do you think that way? I can't come up with an immediate one, but I'll tell you, my poor sister, who, when we're okay and we drive to and from Jazzercise and like that, I keep saying to her, did you ever wonder, and she looks at me like, what? So anyway, getting back to where I was. So when I got it back after the do-over, my grade would be lowered because it was late. So, oh, that was really hard. Do-over, and then it's late. But you know what? The one thing I learned from that was that instead of holding my pen like this when I wrote, I would hold it like this. So when I write, I get kind of a crampy thing in my hand so I don't smudge it and it's messy. Well, that's the same thing we're going to experience now. If we're not getting individually and collectively what we're supposed to be getting from this experience, we will do it again. We will. We have to learn the lesson. With all the talk that's going on about, opening the country, get back out there, get about our business. Gee, it would be great if we could think we could just do that. But they don't call it a novel virus for nothing. And I think we ought to consider maybe every week we're on retreat, shall we say, that we have time to think and to think about what it is that we're in this to learn. The other day I talked about wisdom and where wisdom and the realm of all possibilities is. And it's in the upper four quadrants, the intuitive sensing part of our mind. And we get there through prayer and inspiration. That's where genius is. That's where miracles happen. It's where you find those amazing answers. So I find it during my prayer time. And as I told you the other day, I find it in the shower sometimes. And I think that's because everything else is blocked out and spirit can get through. Prayer and meditation is just taking the time away from everything in the world to let spirit give you a plethora of divine ideas, sometimes too many. That's what happened yesterday. I showed you the other day a stack of papers with ideas that I jotted down because I jot them down because I think if I don't jot them down, I'm going to lose them. So I had these papers, and I decided yesterday they were too cluttery. So I was going to go through them and pick out the stuff that I still wanted to use, cross out the stuff I already used. I did it for hours, and I got my head got cluttered. All the clutter went from there to here. So if you're not taking time in this respite we have to learn, to listen to your heart, listen to your mind, you're going to get signals from right and left. One of the bits of wisdom I got the other day in the shower was to divide is to diminish. To unite is to multiply. Isn't that a great thought? You know, we've been divided in every way, and we teach in unity that the thoughts you hold in mind multiply and eventually manifest in and as our lives. So the more we hold thoughts of division and separation, individually and collectively, the more division and separation we're going to have. So you might want to think about that, especially if you're realizing how the division is hurting us. It's hurting in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of times when I preach about oneness, people misunderstand that. They think that I mean that everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to think the same. Everybody has to agree on everything. It is nothing like that. The oneness that I'm teaching about is oneness in diversity. We are many. We are many. Oh, what does it say on our money? E pluribus unum, out of many, one. But it doesn't say those many are not amazingly diverse in every way. When we practice bigotry, yes, when we multiply, magnify, thank you, Kelly, we want to multiply and magnify all the good that we are. That's what we want to do. And we want to do it the positive way. You know, they say, where two or more agree on a thing, it is so. Now, that can be positive or negative. Because if two people get together and decide to gossip about somebody, and a third person walks up, that third person is probably going to have what these two say, what they're gossiping about, be true in their mind. Not a good idea, okay? So we want to unite and multiply. The time we're spending here today, whether whoever's here right this minute and whoever's going to watch this video later, we're uniting in a way to support each other in getting through this thing that we're going through. So we have lessons to learn, and when I asked the question, I got a lot of individual answers. People posted about, they know about, I know somebody that said procrastination. They learned about how easy it is to procrastinate. Because you say, oh, I don't have time, I don't have time. Then all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, I did have time, where'd it go? So that is oh, I totally lost my train of thought. It left the station. I'll have to wait till it comes back. So anyway, we each have different ways that we want to be unique and to be a part of a greater whole. So we have individual lessons. That's what I was saying. I knew that train had come back to the station. Our individual lessons to learn, the things we're learning. I'm learning how much not having hugs hurts. I mean, it's proven. Psychologists say you need, like a 20-minute hug, like 20 times a day. So between me and the cat, but you can see she's up for hugging today. So anyway, but are we learning our collective lesson? There was not a response I got that addressed the concept of our collective lessons. One of the collective lessons we're learning is if we stop driving so much, if we stop polluting so much, the planet, which is our channel of good. God is our source. God creates planet, us, everything, and created a world that was meant to renew, not only to renew, but prosper. So if we are like choking. We're choking our good. We can't let our Mother Earth breathe. That's not a good thing. Are we learning that lesson? Are we learning the lesson about how important we are to each other? And that means, again, individually and collectively, everything that divides us, diminishes us. We lose, people like to say, united we stand. A lot of times they don't add the second part, divided we fall. And that is individually, collectively, and universally. It goes to all of us. We are all individually, mutually accountable and collectively responsible for our world. Well, I'm going to tell you who's at the root of all this. And at the root of all this are what I call, well, I don't call them that, the Bible calls them that, false gods. There's two false gods, Mammon and Baal. And Mammon is money, materialism, and Baal is ego, it's personal power. Think about the headlines you've read lately. Usually about money and power, isn't it? My cat loves my hibiscus tea. I don't know what's up with her, but maybe it's got something she needs. Anyway, every issue we have. What about people that are having trouble in their marriages? It's usually Mammon or Baal, money, ego, personal power. Those are the lessons we have to learn. I kind of have an assignment for you. What I'd like you to do is to, as you hear news, as you see news, ask yourself, where is money and power in this? And when we put, see, false gods means false good. If we call God good, God is good, all good, everywhere present, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Okay, so God is all that and God is all good. Then anything that is not good for all is not ultimately good. What a concept. Everything that was created to work together. I'm really not sure about cockroaches, but I do believe that if God made it, somewhere in the universe, it serves a power. So go back again. I got another idea. Look at the commercials on TV. I think I'm going to do a whole thing about commercials one day because I just saw one for some kind of dishwasher. What you call it, a dishwashing machine? I don't have one. This is it. This is my dishwashing machine. Anyway, they tell you to run it every night. Save water. Run it every night. It doesn't matter whether there's 4 dishes in there. That's fine. I do it every night. Well, okay, the water. Then there's the electricity, and then we have the whatever chemicals are in the dishwashing detergent. And so none of that is looked at. It's, oh, you can save water by running your dishwasher every night. So when you see those commercials, say to yourself, is this about the higher good or is this about money? I can't wrap my mind around running your dishwasher every night. Well, I don't have one, so I guess I wash my dishwasher several times a day, though, because my little hands wash the dishes right as I go through the day. When I got bogged down yesterday by my abundance of ideas, I had to stop everything. Now, on one hand, you may be bored. On the other hand, you may be overwhelmed. But whether you're bored or whether you're overwhelmed, remember, bored people or boring people find something meaningful to do. Either side you're on, remember, one of the most important things is self-care. Some of that self-care, right where we started, prayer and meditation, quiet time. It doesn't have to be holy. It doesn't have to be a they, thy, thou, thee. None of that. You don't need any of that. Just relax, open your mind, open your heart, and let your mind rise up to the realm of unlimited divine ideas. That's how we're going to get off. That's how we're going to get over that. because I'm talking about the lessons we're learning, I have a reading. It's kind of long, so I'm going to be as fast as I can. But this was said to be written by Chief Seattle, and then that was questioned as to who wrote it. It doesn't matter who wrote something if it's true. True is true one way or the other. And I'm sure that whoever wrote it drew on the actual speech of Chief Seattle. This is what it says. The president in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land. But how can you buy or sell the sky, the land? This idea is strange to us. If we do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can we buy them? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every meadow, every humming insect, all are holy in the memory and experience of my people. And our people too. We know the sap which courses through the trees as we know the blood that courses through our veins. We are a part of the earth, and it is a part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The bear, the deer, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crests, the dew in the meadow, the body heat of the pony, and man, all belonging to the same family. The shining water that moves in the streams. The clear waters and lakes tells of events and memories in the life of my people in each glossy reflection. The water's murmur is the voice of my father's father. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. They carry our canoes and feed our children. So you must give the rivers the kindness that you would give any brother. If we sell our land, remember that the air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all life that it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also received his last sigh. The wind also gives our children the spirit of life. So if we sell our land, you must keep it apart and sacred as a place where man can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by meadowy flowers. Will you teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother? What befalls the earth befalls the sons of earth. This we know, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected like the blood that unites us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. One thing we know, our God is also your God. The earth is precious to him, and to harm the earth is to heap contempt on its creator. Your destiny is a mystery to us. What will happen when the buffalo are all slaughtered, the wild horses tamed? What will happen when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many men, and the view of ripe hills is blotted with talking wires? Where will the thicket be? Gone. Where will the eagle be? Gone. And what is to say goodbye to the swift pony and then the hunt? The end of living and the beginning of survival. When the last red man has vanished with this wilderness, and his memory is only the shadow of a cloud moving across the prairie, will these stories and forests still be here? Will there be any of the spirit of my people left? We love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. So if we sell our land, Love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind and memory the land as it is when you receive it. Preserve the land for all children and love it as God loves us. As we are a part of the land, you too are a part of the land. This earth is precious to us. It is also precious to you. One thing we know, there is only one God. No man, be he red man or white man, can be apart. We are brothers after all. So, we're getting a lesson from our mother as we have stopped, or paused, should we say, our pollution. I'm going to ask you to think deeply about this and what lesson we can learn. And it is in that realm of divine ideas that the answer is, and it is freely given. Open your mind to receive, and you may be the one that helps to think of the ways that can change our world for the better. Thank you for joining me, my friends. You have a great day. If you're watching it, I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube later. If you're watching it there, please do subscribe. Click like. You'll make sure that we stay connected. And I will talk to you tomorrow. God bless you, and thank you for being there. Your spirit inspires mine. Bye-bye.